People who've got an interest and who've got experience in this area. I came across a lady the other day who's lived here for many years, and she knows an awful lot of what's happened in the history. And we need to have these people in on an open forum, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Having an open forum, an open meeting, and saying, if you know anything about the history, if you know anything about the flora and the fauna and the ecology, and you've got something to offer, please come forward. We need the expertise.
Well, we want to have some information evenings.
We need the
so
information.
part of the videos is to provide resource material, so we can run 10 to 15 minutes of video for people who haven't been up here or can't get up here. They can see what it's like and hear residents giving their point of view, and then maybe have a few guests who, Johnny the Frogman or this other person, and have a great conversation and inform the local community.
Because I think a lot of people just hear little bits and then it dies off and they completely forget about it again until it's brought to their attention again. You know, that's the thing. So we need to do.
So that might be the next thing on our agenda, is to set up a forum evening.
I think that's probably
And
quite
I
close.
think that we need to be looking at that in the next 6 weeks at the most. At the latest time, 6 weeks, because sometimes this whole thing can go off the boil very quickly.
Oh, it can.
And if this goes off the boil,
I forgot.
what we're looking at here
It'll be gone.
is gone. And then we need to actually stop and generate or designate a day and a place. Someone needs to say, right, this is when it's going to be, and this is, we've got permission to hold it there. From there, the next step would be to put up flyers, advertise it. I don't know whether we're allowed to do a flyer, but are you interested? Have you got something to contribute? We are looking for people who've got anything to contribute. Come to such and such a place at such and such a time. We're looking forward. And this is where I think having a name and a bit of a logo and maybe a little bit of a flag. But
make a target date.
we've got to make a target
The
date.
next meeting should
We
make a
can't do
target
that.
date.
We're talking. We need to
and
make
we're
a
working to
target
that.
plate and a venue. Someone to get a target place, a target date, a venue. Someone to do a flyer, art, and then all of us to do.
Because we're not certain when it's going to come back to council. I mean, the next council meeting is the 26th of May. And it might be, we're only going to get 5 days notice.
So you don't know if this is going to come up?
No, we're getting 5 days notice. That's what the council have said.
So it could be 3 months down the track.
So we don't know, but we if we presume it's the 26th of May, we've only got a few weeks, so we're trying to get our.
That's our priority, isn't it?
That's right.
Because of that possibility, we might be up on the next council meeting.
That's right.
As much as attractive as an information evening is, somehow I think that council agenda is our priority.
Well, they could pick out something that we can each work individually on to do like another submission to the council of, say, perhaps about the dump site, the toxic waste and how we feel that's going to affect it should never be built on because of that and it needs to be kept and added to try and work against what's happening. And somebody else might take up something like another lady might take up about the schools, because there's not going to be the schools are full already. So if you get all these people coming, where are they going to go? Somebody else might do a transport, look at all the transport, so that we've got a few more facts.
Not a short-sighted thing, just a little bit more depth.
To add to the depth of what we've already got.
And I still think even if the 26th of May it does come up, I think as your committee should start picking out a date soon after, in there to get a bit of a forum going, because if nothing happens in the next 2 weeks, you want to be ready to say, well, we've got this date lined up, let's hit everybody and phone calls and whatever you do.
And I think too, it's a matter of having the masses behind us.
Absolutely.
And because with that comes the emotive. And this is a very emotive issue. While we know it's a financial issue and it's a legislative issue and everything else, there's still a huge emotive issue. And I reckon if we can go near the emotive part of it, I think that's a big punch behind us.
That's the public campaign.
That's the public campaign.
Other spheres like the regulatory bodies, they're
Yes.
totally unemotional. It's all about
Exactly.
facts and reports and studies, of which there isn't much anyway. So you've got to balance both of those, haven't you? Because some people will say, oh, you people are just over-emotional about this thing. It's really going to be all right.
I mean, really, when you look at it, there isn't a desperate need for housing here.
No.
You know, because we've got houses that have been empty, there's houses for rent, there's people
houses
can't
for
sell their
sale.
houses, so there's not a great big, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, Joe-
undersupply
yeah.
of places.
Joe this morning, who came on our walk to the wetland, said Dalyellup is a prime place. If there is a need for more housing in this part of the world, Dalyellup is basically flat land. There's lots of open space. There would need to be some buy-up. That's part of the attraction here because this is government land. And so there doesn't have to be this trade-off. The government is after the money they would get by selling it to the Satterley process. So I think, you
So
know,
Satterley doesn't own it already?
no, it's owned by the Housing Authority, which is a government body,
Department of Housing.
Department of Housing.
And Satterley was in conjunction with them to develop it for them.
Yes.
But just this morning they were saying something that's going to be, there's proposed masses of houses out in Dalyellup on the flat farmlands.
Which is much more feasible, much less environmentally destructive. And yet I don't think anyone in the Cable Council or here, this part of the world, has seriously looked at an alternative. They're just going ahead with this because there's this financial element to it, which is very attractive to council who obviously wants more money. All councils do.
But the main thing is the whole of this, the beautiful big trees and wetlands and all the animals, and it just goes on and on for it. So to lose all of this when you look around,
And on that side of things, the offset area in Margaret River is a ridiculous concept.
That is stupid.
You know, to think that you can bag up possums and cockatoos
And send them
and
over
send
down.
them 80 k's down the road and think they're going to live, get real.
Crazy.
well, the bush, it's not, you know, the same bush and the same environment as what they're living in here. So they're not. Even if they got halfway there, they're never going to survive anyway.
And it's denying the interdependence of flora and fauna.
And who on earth is going to collect all these animals
They don't.
together?
They don't.
No way, they won't do that. They'll just come in and bulldoze.
And what the possums will do, they'll head north and they'll start to head up through Usher and South Bunbury and they'll get killed by dogs.
Right.
Or roadkill. Because that's what happened when Satterley first moved in. I live in South Bunbury, and all the possums just headed north through our yards, through the treetops. And even though there was still bushland here, that they were so disorientated from loss of their own territorial habitat, they just couldn't find a base. And so they head into suburban Bunbury, and they all just die.
And as was said this morning, with all of the fires that had happened on the highway and at
They won't go
Dalyellup
that
and everything,
way.
there's been lots and lots of animals that have been needing to find new habitat. And so the count that they had here in 2012, that was a 2-night count in 2012. We need to have another count. We need to be, you know, finding out exactly what is here. They haven't done anything to look at, you know, what they haven't had a botanist appear anything to check out what else is here.
There's no up-to-date studies.
No, there's no,
of
no,
what's
there isn't.
here.
That's right.
And so it's going ahead with a lack of information. But assuming that we don't get called in for the next council meeting on the 26th, perhaps we should, once we pass that point, or when we're within 5 days of the 26th and there's no call, we could start planning a public forum, say 3 weeks later.
I almost think that we might need to start getting some groundwork done ahead of time.
Just we are kind of. I mean, what we're doing now is. But you're talking
About a public
flyers.
forum. No, I'm
aren't
talking
you?
about if I have something
Yeah.
just so that if we're ready to go.
Tentative date for a
I am
hire
really
or
concerned that we're going to come off the boil.
Well,
I'm
Gordon,
honestly concerned about that. Look, we're not going to come off the boil, but you know, it's going
The
to slide
majority.
slowly but surely, and I think that we need to look at it from the opposite point of view. We need to bring more people in so that we actually furnacing, you know, stoking the fire.
Yeah, stoking
Well,
the fire.
we have actually had more people join the group though. We've got a group on Facebook which is a closed group and it's for Save Dalyellup Tuart Bushland. If you want to go on that, it's just for the people that actually join it. And we have had more people join. There's about 300 on there now, which is following what's happening as well, which is good. And all the information, what's happening.
So that
we're
might
actually
be our
putting
first
it on
point
there.
of call.
So you could
actually.
advertise there for the
Yes,
people
That's
to
right,
join the
exactly.
forum.
Yeah, that might be our first point of call,
Yeah.
saying that we are proposing at some stage down the line a public forum. Please bear this in mind and join
Can
us.
you help
Can you help?
Yeah.
Can you help?
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's right. You know,
But
so,
this is
but
good. We're having a good discussion.
That's it. And we can
That's
only,
right.
people can only do what they can do. We
Yeah,
can't get
that's
everybody
right.
turning up and that, but it's good. And the more people that do come and look at all of this beautiful bush, the more word will go around.
Yeah.
So, you know, I might stick on my fence, walking toast,
Yeah, that's
3
right.
o'clock every day.
Come and see what you're going to lose
That's
if you
right.
don't step up and help.
Instead of me going to the gym, and this is my exercise.
Yeah.
It's not so funny, is it?
No, God, I'm also in a panic about the community and the schools and the children.
Oh, the
This
rubbery.
is the thing that worries me from a huge...
Well, overcrowding in schools and
The
stuff.
schools are already overcrowded.
Is it?
Yeah.
The 2 schools that we've got here are chock-a-block. They're intransportables already. We've got the teachers struggling because they've got big classes. And tell me where else.
And they haven't planned a school on there.
No.
It's all houses.
There's no school on there.
No.
They considered this, and this is huge. They haven't considered an early learning centre.
No.
We're
There's
going to
nothing
have,
for you.
because they're small housing, we're going to have a lot of young couples with small children. There's no early learning centre. We're going to have, because it's small housing, we're going to have people going to work. What's going to happen to their children? And for me, my background in education, that is my biggest concern. And the biggest concern is that we're going to have, as we have already, we have a lot of children. Well, we're going to have even more. There's nothing for all these kids to do. And I would like to, while we're concerned about the environment, we're concerned about all sorts of other things. I think the other thing that we might start considering is offering an alternative. Turning the negative into a positive. Well, yes, we understand about the housing, but would this not be another alternative to your money making, to your whatever, and then offer a positive to it? Do something with this.
So this is the ecotourism
that's right.
idea
Almost,
as a centre point for the Preston River to Ocean
Absolutely.
Regional Park.
But there's
Yeah.
no
And you know,
sports
this is
fields
going
or
to
grounds,
do
is there?
a huge amount for the Cape York Shire. It's going to do a huge amount for the southwest. We're lagging behind the Bustletons and the Margaret Rivers
We are.
and
Way
the Powara.
behind.
We're lagging behind them.
Dear, because the Preston River to Ocean Regional Park is not a done deal. It's a proposal at this point. So to have this additional aspect come in to kick it along gives it a bit more profile and perhaps is more attractive in creating this eco.
If it's,
I
if
almost
it's joined
see
in,
this.
if it's joined into that, it's like what we're saying. You know, there isn't anything in the whole of that region that has any education centre or
That's right.
anything there. So it would make Capel shine. You know, we would Bunbury and Capel and put it on here, and it would be a feather in the cap.
This is what I'm thinking is to, rather than, yes, we do have to go in the negative and throw up all these things that are not good, but I think at the same time we need to give them another option. And I almost see this as being, you know, imagine this being an amazing walkway for disabled people, that they can actually get their wheelchairs up here and come and look at this. Imagine if this
It's a beautiful place to visit and just enjoy
if
it.
you could come and have a little sundowner, leave the bush as it is, and
picnic
create
tables.
little sections of it.
Like they
Little
do
hides.
in the
That,
national parks.
like we have in the
and
national parks.
things like
That
that.
is such a big plus. That whole
As well, if Crystal is supposed to be putting back and developing, you know, rehabilitating the area, instead of putting playing fields on the top of the dump, which is going to be no good to anybody, they could spend money being part of that building.
I don't know that there
centre.
might not even be some tax rebate, some whatever, and what a huge plus for them as a company.
Yeah, that's right.
They're still trying to cover up their irresponsibility during their time using
25
this area.
25
They never put a liner. Like today, if you do what they want to do, you have to put an underground liner so that there's no seepage of the chemicals into the water table. They never at any stage did that. And so the trade-off between council and Crystal Millennium, with them offering to do the playing fields, it feels like a little bit dodgy.
I've been caught out sort of stuff. I've been caught out, so now I'll do something good. So that might be a great plus for us to use that as like, you stuffed up once, buddy. What can you do now to repair it?
And there are some interesting reports. There was a report by ABC Late State Line back in 2009 about Millennium, and it was an interview with the CEO at the time, and the unethical and irresponsible, blasé nature of this person's responses was just obvious. He basically knew they'd polluted the environment, but just wanted to get a way out of it by not saying anything and just saying there's going to be this report. The report went to government and it's confidential. As far as I know to this day, it's a confidential report by Crystal.
Because it's either pulling out all the stops or losing it. And I think that's quite an easy option.
And personally, I believe a certain level of activism might be needed at some point. I'm talking non-violent activism.
Absolutely.
And which isn't throwing yourself in front of the cars. But the powers that you're up against here are huge government forces who won't want to back down.
And that is why I think we need to have this public forum, the numbers sooner rather than later, because that in itself will escalate.
Yeah.
We're talking, but there's going to be another 3 groups over there. I know all the people on Hut Road had something to say. They've all been to their bank managers, and one lady told me their bank manager said, if that goes up, consider 200,000 drop on your
I
budget.
would say so.
Really?
200,000. And
The banks are saying that.
The bank manager who lives
He
somewhere
lives
up
there, the
there.
bank manager lives there.
This is what this lady told me.
They're going to be up
And
in
this is
arms.
the same lady I'd love to have.
But
on
they
the
all
tour.
know
She's
that-
got a whole lot of history behind
Well,
this
a lot
place.
of the ones from Hook Drive came to the initial
Yes,
meetings
yes.
that we
On
had
the
in
park.
the park, and they are on the proposed, on our SAVE website there, so that hopefully when we do have the forum, everybody will come in numbers, because we are making everybody
best
aware
time
of what's
is
happening.
evening, not during the day.
No, it
Of
must be
course,
evening.
yeah,
Must be
you know,
evening.
6:30,
And or Saturday
cup of
morning.
tea,
Yeah.
hold a
Well,
hold a
everybody's
really
got sport with the children
kind of
and that
happy
on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
thing to talk it over.
Yeah.
Have a few guests who inform people about this
So,
situation.
if we're going to do that, can we maybe get one or two or some of us to start inquiring as to a place to go that we could maybe hold this?
I think
Well,
the
there's
community
you
centre.
hire the community
All right.
centre.
Can we sort of get maybe an option of 2 or 3 dates and someone go to them and say, can we?
Dates are your first
Yeah.
point of call. We've
Can
got
we
to
block
pin
that
down
up?
a date.